Ann Arbor's Talk Station, 1290 WLBY and the Lucy Ann Lance Show. It's time for Damian on Design with Damian Farrell from Damian Farrell Design Group. He's a local architect. I learned so many new things from you, Damian. Today, you're going to talk about trends in kitchens and something that I've long wondered about, induction cooking. What is that?
It's really taking on. We're getting more clients asking about it now in our work. One of the things that people are really drawn to is the fact that the surface that you're cooking on remains cool. So the danger of burns is dramatically reduced. And so essentially what it is underneath the glass on the cooktop there is a magnet or a coil of metal, all right? And then, so when you turn that on and then you put a pot on top of it, that coil makes all the little electrons in the pot start to move, and it's that movement and that agitation that generates heat in the cooking vessel. So that's why you can actually touch the glass. So it's a magnetic induction. That's what it is. So as this magnet gets turned on under the glass, it gets going and it basically gets all the little electrons or whatever you want to call them in the pot going. And that's where the heat comes from. Isn't that amazing? So you do have to be careful about, or not careful, you have to be selective about what you're cooking with. In other words, your vessels. So aluminum, pure aluminum is very little, there's not much good because it conducts it so fast that it doesn't heat up. You really need something that has a high ferrous content. So that it literally provides resistance within itself, and the more resistance within the pot, the more it'll heat up. But I've not used one, but apparently the controls of them is as instantaneous as using gas. So, but I haven't seen yet any of our folks who really like gas move away from gas to induction. I've seen people who cooked with electric move to induction.
So let's pause there for a moment, because I am not a cook. Your wife is an extraordinary gourmet cook, caterer here in town, Catherine's Catering. What is it about the ability using gas that cooks like your wife love? What is that?
They love it because of the fine adjustment, particularly if you're doing sauces, and particularly if you're doing heavy sauces. You really have to be able to regulate that heat very finely and constantly as you're stirring and you're adding ingredients to either thicken the sauce or you're adding stuff, as the sauce is developing to cook it.
Mm-hmm.
You can't burn it, obviously. I mean, we've had burnt sauces on stuff, right? It's pretty bad.
Yeah.
So it's the control. That's what it's really all about.
And you don't have that control with electric, but you're saying a lot of people who currently are using electric are moving to induction because it is a big difference for them.
Big difference. It's very energy efficient, which is a big draw as well for people these days. We're seeing this tremendous focus on energy efficiency and water efficiency as people are building and remodeling their homes. Their appliances and their fixtures are becoming a major focus. And
it's fast, right?
It's fast. It's instant.
But you may have to get new pots and pans.
You may have to get, if you have pure aluminum or copper, this beautiful, elegant copper doesn't work as well. Again, because it just conducts the heat so fast.
Okay.
But they're also, so you can get, copper that has a steel bottom that might have a coating on it, a copper coating, so you can get the look and appearance of. So the manufacturers are adapting to this technology and providing the cookware.
Now, are you seeing a lot of people put induction heating elements in their homes?
We have, in the last year, 2 out of about a dozen remodels. So that's not a lot, but I'm seeing it showing up in articles as we're talking about today. That's what actually got my interest about this. Was an extensive article about it in one of the latest remodel magazines that I was browsing. Is it
only something that can be used for the stove, or can you use this in the oven as well, this idea of induction cooking? No?
No, it's a very good question. I mean, the big popularity, the big thing right now are the steam ovens and these multi-ovens, which again, I've not had the opportunity to see it, but one of our clients, an out-of-state client, has put a steam oven in and one of these under-counter drawer microwave / oven. It does everything. And I've seen it, and I saw her cooking in it a couple of weeks ago when I was there. And they swear by it. They did a chicken in 45 minutes or something like that. A whole roasted chicken came out looking beautiful and golden brown. And it was fabulous. So, the steam cooking is just done with the heat from the steam. It keeps things more moist. But I don't know much about the background in those. But it is interesting that there is this shift going on. Induction, I think, came out of safety. We put our first induction stove into a house about 8 or 9 years ago.
Oh, that long ago?
Yeah, that long ago. And it was very difficult to find them at the time. And at that time, we could only find 2-plate induction cookers. So we put 3 of them in next to each other.
Oh,
and
really?
they had to be brought from Germany.
Oh, my.
Yeah. And the client we did this for is a very sophisticated cook. And she loves them.
So now there are other manufacturers making these?
Now they're making them. Now you can get them. Actually, there's one that I've seen where you can literally put your vessel anywhere on the surface. So they've got this thing so sophisticated, and you can control any area through touch controls.
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah.
What is the cost of induction heating?
The appliance itself is not. There's very little difference. It's a couple of $100 for a cooktop versus, say, a gas cooktop.
Okay.
So it's not a big. It was when we put these first ones in. I think these things were $1,000 a unit. So we were looking at nearly $4,000 when you first put them in. But like everything, the prices come down as the popularity goes up and the demand goes up.
All right. So heating a cooking vessel with induction heating instead of heat transfer from electrical coils or the gas flame.
Yeah.
And more people are gravitating to this.
Energy, safety.
Right.
And they look good. Easy to clean, all right? So as easy as the old gas the old glass cooktops, but of course, we didn't like those because you couldn't control them very well. And slick, very sleek, slick.
What else are you seeing in the way of trends in the kitchen, Damian?
Well, building on last week's show about kitchens and in particular Scavellini kitchens, looking at some reports from kind of in the market update from the National Kitchen and Bath Association, they're saying that contemporary will be the fastest growing kitchen style in 2014, with 62% of the respondents saying it's on the upswing after ending second in 2013.
Contemporary.
Contemporary. So what we talked about last week with Nikki Saris about the clean contemporary lines of Scavellini, this is really gaining a foothold, and this surprises me. I thought we were a country of very traditional kitchens, but there is, people are drawn to clean lines, simplicity, things that are easy to put together aesthetically. And so it's amazing. I'm a little surprised. But also in part of the study, they're saying more than half of the respondents are talking about major concerns of accessibility now and universal design. And that does work. That concurs with what we're seeing, too. We're seeing manufacturers, for instance, making linear drains, right, instead of the round drain in the center of a shower, and making pre-made slanted shower floors so that you can put this unit in. You can order it custom. It goes in. It tilts one way only. And that same manufacturer is also making things like the recessed nooks that we have been putting in showers and above bathtubs for all these years for shampoo and soap and so on. You can actually buy these things pre-made now. So you can tile right over them, and you don't, because before you've had to cut the wall and create drywall and create framing to take these things and then tile it. And so a lot of manufacturers, again, producing goods that are responding to this need and this
How
desire.
people want to use these.
Yeah, for universal design. So that our houses we can move with our houses and they can move with us, and they can transition depending on where we are in our lifestyle and things that are going on with our health and so on. Tremendous response to that.
Damian Farrell, Damian on Design. He's with Damian Farrell Design Group. Other kinds of trends that are going on, Damian?
The outdoor kitchen thing just keeps growing and growing and growing.
I'm actually surprised at that.
I know. I thought it might peak out at some point.
I did too.
I think probably in the southern climates or the warmer climates, I can see the attraction. But, what I'm seeing is people spending almost as much on an outdoor kitchen as an indoor kitchen.
That's amazing.
And, I question that. Really, is it more, is 20 feet from your kitchen to your porch really worth another $60,000, $70,000, $80,000, $100,000?
Well, when you think about the old 1960s style house, it was hard to get to the backyard.
Yeah.
You had to actually go through the garage, and there was a little door, and that made sense. And then your barbecue was kind of the place to be, and outgrowth of kitchens from there. But today, a lot of people have homes that are, the expanse of the back is open to the backyard.
It's It's a flow right
right,
out there.
Right.
You know, I mean, we have that. Our kitchen opens onto 2 terraces, one a veranda and a porch, and works just fine.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
15 steps,
Yeah.
and the food's out there.
What do you think's driving that then? That more people want outdoor kitchens? Maybe they.
I-
Do you think it's a sense of this whole open concept? Everyone wants to be with each other and see each other.
think it is.
Maybe the chef wants to be right there where the party is. He
Exactly.
doesn't want to be 15 steps away inside the kitchen.
Yes, I think that is it. And I think that a lot of very sexy, seductive stuff has been designed and provided.
It's very lovely.
Yeah, it is lovely stuff, and so people are drawn to it, and there's this seduction of lifestyle, right, that comes with that. Docking stations now in kitchens, very popular. I mean, that's almost like universal design between our iPads and tablets
Right.
and phones, so that's growing. In this report that I read, 63% of the respondents specified energy-saving appliances in 2013, and 60% expect to see more demand this year. So I agree with that. I think that this ongoing concern about energy costs and about water usage is just going to continue. Again, manufacturers are responding to it, designing very elegant, very efficient things, both electrically and water usage.
Along those lines, the aesthetics of what we're using too, the faucets, the backsplash, let's talk about that. What are you seeing in
Well, faucets, now to these touchless faucets, I mean, where you just wave your hand past, the things that we used to see in commercial
Yeah.
are now being adapted. Beautiful designs. So things that you can either just touch to get it going or just wave your hand past it. Again, which are great for universal design. Think of someone who with limited mobility,
Can't
someone
do
with an
that.
injury to their hand.
Yeah.
So instead of moving levers and pulling things out of
Right.
countertops and so on. So water-saving kitchen faucets as well. That's we're seeing. I saw some photographs of a touchless made out of glass. The water. So the whole thing is this glass vessel, this faucet. So elegant. It looked almost like a flower petal.
Beautiful.
And you just waved your hand past the bottom of it, and then it activated it.
And you're using less water that way.
You
too.
are using far.
What about backsplashes? I understand glass.
Glass is
Big now.
boy, it started we started seeing it about 5 or 6 years ago, and now almost every project residential we're seeing people drawn to glass.
Okay.
And the study confirms that as well. They are, I think it's the number second most popular material or something along those lines.
And something you talked about before, quartz is starting
Yeah.
to really pick up for the countertops.
Yeah. So as the cost of granite and cutting big slabs has continued to maintain its level, quartz is taking all of the particles left over in these granite mines, if you will, crushing them down and then mixing it up with polymer to make a hard surface. So you're getting the look and feel of granite. It's as hard. It has. In fact, if anything, it would wear better because it can take hot pots and pans much better than it. And its price point is reasonable. It's less than granite. It's more than solid surface. Like Corian. And very, very popular. I think people like the consistency of it. So some people love the grain of granite, is what we find. So they'll go out and be very deliberate about looking for granite that's got a tremendous grain and that's very picturesque, if you will. But I'm seeing other people drawn to the simplicity of the texture of the products like Caesar stone, which leads the market right now in quartz. That seems to be what people are drawn to. But also the ability to use Caesar stone and make sinks out of it, make it into backsplashes. So it's a material that's very easy to manipulate and cut because it's so fine and grained. So it cuts very well, creates very good joints.
We're talking about the survey that was released by the National Kitchen and Bath Association. It's their Design Trend Survey for 2014 with Damian Farrell, local architect here on his Damian on Design. Also in this report, they talk about French door refrigerators, bottom freezer refrigerators.
Yeah.
I like the idea, since you don't go in the freezer that often, at least I don't, unless it's a really good ice cream in there. I don't want to do so much bending anymore, so I like that all my refrigerated stuff is up here. Having said that, I still have the side-by-side, opening up. I looked at those with the freezer on the bottom, but I noticed that there wasn't a lot of room for tall, juice bottles, milk, that sort of thing.
No.
And I tend to have a lot of that in my refrigerator, so I decided to go back to my old one.
Yeah, I think what the main thing about refrigerator design is there really is now something for everyone.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, we have a large fridge over freezer, so yes, it's a large deep drawer, and then we do have a second fridge that has just a regular freezer box. That seems to work well for us because with Catherine's style of cooking, there's a lot of fresh food,
Right.
and Catherine cooks in quantity, even if there's just two of us. So we have wonderful leftovers, and I love leftovers. I'm one of those people who can happily eat leftovers for a week. So a large upper fridge works
It
great
works
for
for
us.
you, yeah. Absolutely.
You know, there's always a nice stack of Tupperware in there.
For a while, having, and I don't know what you call it, but instead of having like the face of the refrigerator or the dishwasher, it would have the same cabinetry
Yes.
that your cabinets do. Is that in style anymore?
Oh, I see.
You do?
50-50.
Okay.
Absolutely 50-50. Some people love the stainless steel look, so other people want that built-in look. They want it to be integrated.
Unified, and sometimes you
Absolutely.
look, you're like, where's the refrigerator?
Yeah.
You can't even
Yeah.
tell. Does that add to a big cost to your
You know,
kitchen?
yes, it does. Here's the irony of it. If you buy what they call a built-in refrigerator with its built-in kit, in other words, you're buying the fridge that has no sides on it and nothing covering the door. I mean, the door's there, but there's no cover on it other than just raw.
Oh, I didn't-
That's more expensive to buy
Really?
it that way than to buy it finished.
What, and then are you retrofitting the cabinetry
Yeah, and then
onto it?
yes, and then you're attaching the actual cabinet panels to the refrigerator
Oh
itself.
my gosh, I didn't
Yeah,
realize
so you're
that.
not just so you can take a fridge and build cabinets around it, or you can take the fridge and you can attach the cabinets, the panels to it. That's a more expensive option. Go figure.
Do you remember in the 1970s, they came out with the stick-on kind? For
Yes.
people that wanted to have that look, but couldn't. Kind of like the fake brick that people were putting in their
Exactly.
kitchen at the time. What an era that
It'll
was.
start to peel at the corners.
Yes,
right?
exactly. Trends in kitchen and bath with Damian Farrell from Damian Farrell Design Group. You can go online to his website and learn more, and that's dfdgonline.com.
Yep.
Great talking with you today. We'll do it again next week.
Absolutely.
All right,
We'll be
Damian
back.
on Design
Okay.
each week here on the Lucy Ann Lance Show on our Saturday edition on 1290 WLBY.
Super.
Great job. Thank you.
Good.